Hi there, Year 10, it's Mr. Hunt here for your second lesson for the tower crane project. Now, last lesson we went through and we looked at all the specifics about the synoptic project. A reminder, the synoptic project is looking at all your skills all coming together at the same time. So not just your knowledge, not just what you know, but can you apply it? Can you apply that knowledge? Now, we're going to make a tower crane. It's going to be a crane that would be built in sections, out of box section steel that bolts together to make a big crane to make a building. But we're going to be making our model out of various things, plastics, wood, etc. And you'll have to think about all the different parts of the tower crane. Now, we started off looking at the assessment objectives and making sure, and I just want to emphasize how important it is to get all the information. So if you do something, record it, even take a picture of it so you know you've got everything. We've went through the planning, the preparation, the progress log, making sure you're making progress independently. It's not just teacher-led. It's not me telling you what to do. You've got the route map yourself, and you can work independently. And that's ultimately what we're looking for. You know, if we can crack this in Year 10, you'll be sailing in Year 11 onto that distinction, which everybody can get. We can all get a distinction. Please read through the project brief. It's really important that you know exactly what you're trying to do. You're making a crane. It's got to work. It's got to lift a heavy weight. Now, last lesson, you hopefully watched the film. It's on YouTube. It's only 10 minutes. And it's really informative of how much work goes into actually putting one of these cranes up. It's really, really a complex thing. Obviously, if you get it wrong, it's not good at all. Now, the final thing was last lesson is to familiarise yourself with the bits of the crane. You should know the counterweight now, what it does, the jib, the mast, etc. We've already looked at pulley systems. We've already made a block and tackle. You're going to have to make another one, smaller this time, for the pulley wheel so it can lift that heavy weight without too much of an effort. So you want to be pulling a really heavy weight up your crane with very, very minimal lifting. Okay, so remember, each rope you attach, there's 2 on the diagram here, each rope you attach, you're halving the amount of effort, which is good. Now today we're going to be looking a little bit more at pulley systems, so again refreshing ourselves of how it works, how the pulley systems work, and in particular looking down at the bottom of the actual hoist line of an actual crane. There's a picture there, a little diagram there about how it actually works in a typical crane. Now, next we need to be doing our hand-drawn designs. We need to be thinking about what is the best design for our crane. Now, how can we put it together so it's super strong? Now, it's a balance. You don't want too much weight on there because it'll become heavy and cumbersome. You want it to be as light as possible, yet super strong. So we're going to be using a big thick wooden block that I've already cut for the base. We're going to use strips of plastic for the side, but you need to be thinking about how you're going to make those triangle shapes in between to make it super strong. So have a look at other cranes, search the web, have a look at some ideas and how the actual parts come together. 100 times out of 100 it's going to be some kind of triangle used in that section. So I want you to do some quick ideas of your crane. So have a quick look on the web, give me some quick ideas, pause the film, and then we'll continue with our next task. So you've done a bit of preparation, you've looked on the web, you've seen some ideas, you've done a few quick sketches. Now hand drawing is really important. Be able to get your ideas down quickly. Very, very important indeed, especially in the working environment. Someone might give you a task, something to do. You've got to get it down quickly and then move on. Now we're going to move on this page. Page 8, more formal hand-drawn designs. You can either do them freehand or you can use graph paper if you have it or something like that. But use a ruler now. So we're not sketching anymore. We're not freehand. We're using a ruler. I'd like to think about the actual mast section. So the mast is the tower that's going up. So what shape is it? If you were building a particular section, what would it look like? What triangle structures would you use? And I'm giving you 2 examples here. This is what it could look like. It could be quite interesting, or it could be very formal. Doesn't matter what you want to go for. It's your design. But try not to add too much. If you have 1 bar going across, it probably will be good enough. 2, it's probably not needed. And that 1's going across this way, you might not need them at all. But anyway, let's get some ideas down. This is going to be the main part of the lesson, making sure you've got these drawings and they're high quality. So sketching is freehand with no rulers. Drawing, you've got to use all the drawing equipment you can. Rulers, compasses, make sure it's as neat as possible so someone else could look at it and say, do you know what, I can see exactly what's going on here. Okay, so I would say that's going to take you at least half an hour to do 2 really, really high quality designs. The final part of the lesson is trying to move on from those almost flat designs into something more three-dimensional. The first one really is isometric. Now, isometric drawings, we've done these before. We're refreshing our memory here. This is isometric drawing. The lines are at 30 degrees. The lines are always going straight up. The vertical lines always go straight up, and the other line is at 30 degrees, and that tells you it's isometric. Isometric is used often in industry to show something as it would be. As it would be. An orthogonal drawing is we're going to be looking at later, splitting the things up into parts, but this is just how it would look. You know, if it was sat on a table or if it was in the real world, what would it look like, okay? Now, this is just a sheet to just get yourself familiar with what's happening with isometric drawing. If you can draw one of the shapes you see on the left, that'd be great. Or draw something on the paper, some kind of box or something, sticking to the grid. Do not go off the grid. Do not draw a line that isn't already on a line, because that is the, you know, you need to follow the isometric paper. So that should take you no more than 5-10 minutes. Do a drawing, pause the film, and then we'll do the final task. Final task for today's lesson is the isometric drawing, but on a bigger scale. So we're trying to draw the crane. Now, drawing these cranes is really difficult. You're going to have to really, you know, dig deep here and trying to get this done, because there are thin pieces. If you're drawing something that has big block sections, you can sort of see it and you can see how it works. But because they're thin little pieces, and some parts you can see, some parts you can't, you're going to have a go. Draw. Don't press on hard. Don't really kind of make an indelible mark. Just put a little light mark. You may need to kind of rub it out, start again. Don't worry about it. But the point to think about is that in all this, you're really looking for an aspect of symmetry. You're looking for something that you're going to repeat again and again. So the mast on the left-hand side here, you can see it's going to be symmetrical. Each side is going to be the same. It's not going to be different. The measurements are going to be the same. Or if you're making the jib on the right-hand side, again, it's about symmetry. It's making sure that those triangles are the same. Okay? So you need to spend at least half an hour on this, making sure that your drawings are as good as they can be. You might want to trace it, so trace the paper onto a plain piece of paper if you want to, if you're not sure. Or you can go online and print out some isometric paper. This is where I found this sort of paper in your booklet. Just find it on the web, print it out, and have another go if you get stuck. And again, any problems, let me know. Get on Teams. If there's anything you're not sure about, let me know and I will help you. Okay, so best of luck with that, and hopefully I'll see you soon.